Hi everyone, welcome to Unacademy Learning App. Myself Mohan Puri, Masters from NIT Karnataka. Got All India rank 1152 in GATE 2014. I taught around 75 plus batches all over India in different places like Bangalore, Chennai, Coimbatore, Pune, and different places. Okay, so if you are really interested about GATE exam, nowadays getting offline courses is very difficult. So if you are really interested, then you can download Unacademy Learning App. What is the advantage of Unacademy Learning App? In this one, there are two types of subscriptions. One is plus subscription. Okay, another one is iconic subscription. In plus subscription, you will get classes from India's best educators. Okay, they will conduct interactive live classes. It is in a structured courses and PDFs also available. They will conduct live tests and quizzes also. In iconic subscription, in addition to these four, they will give personal coach also. Okay, and personalized test analysis. That means according to your abilities, they will conduct tests and they will give study plans. Okay, how to study, what not to study. They will guide those things. Again, they will they will suggest materials also according to your education background. So these are the some of our top faculties from all over India. And in GATE and ESE, they are providing different courses for different branches: ECE, CSIT, civil engineering, electrical engineering. So for all branches, they are providing different courses. So if you come to cost, okay, for 24 months, for 24 months, we will charge like 44,000. If you use my MPD Live 10, this code, you will get 10% off. How much offer? You will get 10% off. Now, if you go for iconic subscription, okay, here they are charging 54,000. In this one, if you use MPD Live 10, you will get again 10% off. Fine. Now, now we will go to the topic of register from digital electronics. Okay, what is register? First of all, actually, if you want to store one bit information. If you want to store one bit information, you need to use one flip-flop. Memory storage elements are called just latches or flip-flops. Okay, one flip-flop is sufficient. But if you want to store n bit information collectively, if you want to store n bit information collectively, we need to use n number of flip-flops collectively is called n bit register. So to store n bit information, we need to use n number of flip-flops. That is called n bit register. Generally, there are four types of operations. There are four types of operations. One is serial input, serial output. What is serial input? Serial output means we will give input in serial manner and we will take output serial manner. That means one by one we will take. Okay, but in serial input and parallel output, serial input means we will give input serially, that means one by one, but we will take output parallelly, that means we will take all the output at a time. In one clock cycle, we can read all the output. Now, parallel input, serial output. In parallel input operation, in one clock cycle, we will give all the inputs to the flip-flops. But in serial output operation, okay, we will take again output serially, that means one by one. In fourth operation, in parallel input, parallel output. Okay, in one clock cycle we will give input and that is available in output side. Okay, you can read it directly. Now, number of clock cycles required for each operation. Okay, for each operation, how many number of clocks required, we will calculate that one. Okay, in next one. Now, first come to the serial input. Serial input, serial output operation. Okay, in serial inputs and serial output operation, to get n bit information at serial input pin, which feed serially at serial input pin, it requires 2n-1 clock cycles by using n bit shift register. Now see this diagram. Okay, in this diagram, these are called D flip flop. What is functioning of D flip flop means whatever input we will give, whatever input we will give, you will get that as output side. Okay, if you give input A here, if you apply clock here, if you apply clock here, then you will get output A. That is the actual functioning of D flip flop. So now in this diagram, there are four flip flops, D flip flops are there, and all these four are connected serially. That means output of one flip flop is connected to input to another flip flop. Now output of next flip flop is connected to input to another flip flop, and clock is same for everyone. Okay, for every flip flop we are applying single clock. That means these are asynchronous. Sorry, this is synchronous because we are applying only one clock to all the flip flops. Okay, now let's check it the functioning. Now four flip flops as I explained earlier, and one clock, say one clock, that means synchronous clock. Now here we are considering the input A B C D. Okay, A B C D, this is serial input. Okay, and we will read that at output side. Okay, so let's check it. First one, this A is available at this input side. Okay, if we apply one clock, okay, after first clock cycle, this A will travel to this side. Okay, this A will travel to this side. Okay, after first clock cycle, this A will travel to this side. Okay, next, now this A is available as input to this one. This A is available as input to this one. Now this B is available as input to this one. Okay, this B is available as input to this. That means here after first clock cycle, here B is available and here A is available. Now if you apply another clock cycle, now this B will travel to this side and this A will travel to this side. Okay, now after second clock cycle, here you will get A, here you will get C, and here B, and here A you will get. Okay, that means this A will act as input to this flip flop, this B will act as input to this flip flop, now this C will act as input to this flip flop. Now after third clock cycle, this C will travel to this side and this B will travel to this side, and this A will travel to this side. That means after three clock cycles, here input is D. That means this last one will available here. Okay, now this C will act as input to this one, this one. Now this B will act as input to this one, and this A will act as input to this one. Now once I apply fourth clock cycle, then this D travel to output side, and this C travel to output side, B travel to output side. That means for write operation, for 4-bit register, for 4-bit register, okay, for write operation, that means this operation is called write operation. We are giving 4-bit data, so to write all the 4-bit data, it is taking 4 clock cycles. It is taking 4 clock. That means after first clock, again we see it took total 4 clock cycles. Then all the 4 input serial input data is available at output sides. Now actually how to read? Okay, for read operation, okay, this is serial output pin. Here we can read this A directly we can read this A. Now but if you want to read this one, you need to apply another clock cycle. Then this B is available, here, That means to read B, you need to apply one clock cycle. To read C, you need to apply another clock cycle. To read D, you need to apply another clock cycle. So for read operation, we need to use 3 clock cycles. We need to use 3 clock cycles. Total, how many clock cycles? Total 4 plus 3, 7 clock cycles. This is for 4-bit register. But if you use for n-bit register, for n-bit register, total 4-bit 4 clock cycles, n-bit n clock cycles. For read operation, n minus 1 clock cycles. So total will get 2n minus 1 3 clock cycles. Already earlier we discussed that one. Okay, total in serial input serial output operation. Okay, for n-bit register it is taking 2n minus 1 3 clock cycles. Now next one serial input and parallel output operation. That means we will give, as we discussed earlier, in serial input. Okay, in serial input operation we will give data serially for these 4 registers, and we read it all the 4 parallelly at single time. Okay, at a time we will read all the 4 outputs. Now here what I mentioned, to get n-bit information at parallel output pin which feeds serially at serial input pin, it requires total 10 clock cycles. Let's check it how we will get that n clock cycles. Now here will 4-bit. Okay, for 4-bit register, for write operation, because here we using serial input. Okay, serial input already in last slide we discussed that one. For to feed data serially for 4-bit register, it is taking 4 clock cycles. So here also it will take 4 clock cycles only. Now, but for read operation, actually after 4 clock cycles, okay, if we take A, B, C, D data, okay, after 4 clock cycles, we will get data like this: D, C, B, A. Now these 4 data bits available at this output pins. Okay, to read it these 4-bit data, okay, to read it parallelly, you need no need to apply any clock cycle, because already these 4 bits available at output pins. So number of clock cycles required is 0 clock cycles. So total number of clock cycles for 4-bit register is 4 plus 0, 4 clock cycles. At the same time, for n-bit register, it is taking n clock cycles for write operation, 0 clock cycles for read operation. So total we will get the data by using n clock cycles. So in serial input parallel output operation, to get n-bit information at serial output pins, it is taking n clock cycles. Okay, this is the second mode of operation. Now come to the third mode of operation. In third mode, okay, see parallel input serial output operation. That means parallel, this time we will give input data parallelly and we will take output serially. Okay, again, to get n-bit information at serial output pin which feed parallelly at parallel input pin, it requires 10 clock cycles by using n-bit shift register. This is the diagram. Here we will use combinational circuits. Okay, that is multiplexer we will use generally for like so parallel input and serial output operation. For parallel input, serial output operation. See, observe here. Actually, this is 2 by 1 mux. Okay, this is 2 by 1 mux. Here, if selection input is 0, then this parallel input will available for this D flip flop input. Here also, if selection input is 0, okay. Now for for write operation, write operation, we need to make selection input for mux, every mux s equal to 0. Okay, if we make s equal to 0 for this multiplexer, that means this output will connect directly to this input. Okay, this one parallel input is will connected to this D flip flop input. This parallel input will connected to this D flip flop. This parallel input will connected to this D flip flop. Okay, whenever we apply this clock cycle, after whenever we apply this clock cycle, that means let the input is A here, B here, C here, D here. Whenever we apply S equal to 0, this C will available here, this B will available here, and this A will available here. Whenever we apply clock cycle, after first clock cycle, okay, after first clock cycle, this data, this input data, this one, this input data available at output side. That means this D will come this side, this C will come this side, now this B will come this side, and this A will come this side. Now again for read operation, for read operation, for read operation, for read operation, again we'll make selection input s equal to 1. So after first clock cycle, we will get these outputs at output pins, but to read it serially at serial output pin, we need to make selection input equal to 1. So in this case, this D input will this D1, this D is available at this D is available at this pin, and this C is available at this pin, and this B is available at this pin, and this A will available here. That means for 4-bit register, for 4-bit register, okay, write operation, actually for write operation we use 1 clock cycle, but for read operation, for read operation means here reading is serial output. Already we discussed earlier, for read operation it is taking 3 clock cycles for 4-bit register. So total 4 clock cycles. Total it is taking 4 clock cycles. Same way for n-bit register, for n-bit register, for n-bit register it is taking 1 clock cycle for write operation, n minus 1 clock cycles for read operation. So total it will take n clock cycles for parallel input and serial output operation. Now in fourth mode of operation, we will give input parallelly at parallel input pins, and will take output parallelly at parallel output pins. So here we are applying in input data. Okay, parallelly we will apply. So we will get input here. D, let be input is D, B, C, B, A. This is our input. So if you apply 1 clock cycle, again that will available at output side D, C, B, A. we can read it directly we can read this one. So for read operation, for 4-bit register, okay, write operation will apply 1 clock cycle. For read operation, 0 clock cycles. So total 1 clock cycle is sufficient for n-bit register. Sorry, for 1 clock cycle is sufficient for 4-bit register for parallel input and parallel output operation. Same way for n-bit register also. For n-bit register, also 1 clock cycle is sufficient for parallel input and parallel output pin. Okay. In this class, we discussed about what is the meaning of register and what is the modes of operations in n-bit register. That is serial input and serial output operation, serial input and parallel input and serial output. Last one is parallel input and parallel output. And we calculated that number of clock cycles required to get the data at output side for n-bit register. We calculated that one also. Okay. Thank you very much.